petty fights. I want to say to the people at the different George Soros-funded organizations and groups, because I've run into some of them at events over the years, at South by Southwest, I want to tell Think Progress and others, I know you're sold on benevolence and liberalness, and if you can just have your global order of loving social workers, you're going to help everybody. I know most of you aren't really evil. You're conned. And you also feel like you're part of the establishment, and you went to college and have a PhD, and you want to get into government. And so you've got to do a few evil things and spin and play politics to win so your greater good can be done. That's the road to hell. And I want you to know I'm not your enemy. And I'm sad. And you can laugh at me and say the White House chief of science called for taking everybody's kids at birth and putting them in government dormitories to be raised. But that's in scores of government textbooks and eco-science that he wrote. This is the full body of knowledge, as crazy as it sounds. But I bet a lot of you actually know the book says that. I mean, you think you're winning? You think you're in competition with me? Your kids are eating GMO food. You're being sprayed. You're drinking poison in the water. You can laugh at me all day. This stuff's real. The atomic soldiers were real. Project Shad is real. If you don't know about this stuff, if you haven't seen my film Endgame, or you haven't seen the Obama deception, I mean, they're free on YouTube and Google. Go watch them. Take notes. We have whatistheendgame.com. We have theobamadeception.net. They have full bibliographies of the films. I mean, I'm telling the truth here. That's what is of value to me. Not fancy clothes or big houses or being cool or social climbing or going to, fancy parties. A lot of you are in intelligence. Go get my file. I'm pretty reclusive. I mean, I don't want your worldly stuff. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just think it's wrong to be shooting African kids up with HIV. I mean, it's pretty sick, folks, what you're involved in. And, you can say I'm a kook and a liar and laugh at it all day, but you guys are pretty educated. You know I'm telling the truth. And a lot of you have a chance to turn back before you really get deeper into evil and realize you're with us. You're with the American people. Even if you're part of that 6,000 servant class to the elite families that Rothkopf brags about, head of the Kissinger Group, you're still under attack. You're still losing your liberty and freedom. Listen to how desperate, and then we'll go into the next segment with this. Listen how desperate Chris Matthews is here. Listen to this.
Only one goal here to be able to lay the groundwork for some sort of Manchurian candidate presidency.
Well, Chris, this isn't
really... And that
really...
is a full mooner theory, by the way.
Okay,
anybody thinks like that.
This isn't really about facts. It's about emotion. And I can tell you from having, for example, covered one of the Tea Party events down in Kentucky where I began as a reporter back in April, those same people that I saw there, some of them...
Hit pause.
The people who were worried...
See, I could spend an hour just on a 3-minute clip. The whole clip's 10 minutes, but I got 3 minutes marked out. Back that up. You notice he's addressing the audience. He says, there are people that think he's some kind of Manchurian candidate. No, there's people saying he may have been born in a foreign country and not be legitimate. But he takes that into he's mind-controlled, trained in Western China. So then he mislabels it as something kooky. Then he says, by the way, if you believe that, you're a kook, you're a full mooner. So a lot of people hearing that go, yeah, well, I think there's something going on with where he was born. He goes, well, you're a kook. So he tells you how to think. First, he misrepresents what we're saying. Then he says, and if you think that, you're a kook. Everything is PSYOP trained. I mean, this guy's CIA. Think about Chris Matthews. I mean, they admit Anderson Cooper is CIA trained. Most of these Georgetown guys are. This guy's got intelligence connections. Clinton and Hillary are admittedly a fake CIA couple. We even know the name of their CIA handler. That's mainstream history. And everything's divide the people, inject race, but then always say it's for bringing everybody together. He's a limousine liberal. I don't know what's worse, these fake right-wingers or these fake leftists. They're all disgusting. But here he is. Let's go ahead and play Chris Matthews.
Well, Chris, this isn't
and that
really...
is a full mooner theory, by the way.
Okay,
Anybody
yeah.
thinks like that.
This isn't really about facts. It's about emotion. And I can tell you from having, for example, covered one of the...
Every time they deliver, every time these guys deliver their 10 or 15 different talking points in different permutations, they always do little satisfied ticks like, I'm really slick. I just said you're all kooks if you think that. And all the weak-minded followers will now buy into that. I'm doing a great job. But then this guy gets off the script and attacks Ron Paul. And Matthews says, no, we failed in attacking him. That backfired. Don't. Because, see, they wanted to tie Ron Paul to me on Fox and CNN and MSNBC, and they did. And it only made him bigger. And so then they try to attack us and say we're weak and we're kooks and this information's going to backfire on us. But then they also talk about how scary it is. I mean, listen, no one listens to you. No one believes you anymore. They may not know about what all the lies are, but they know you're liars. So let's go back. I mean, look at these dinosaurs trying to manipulate and lie to the American people. Listen, you bastard, we're not telling people what to think. We're just telling them to unlock their minds and start paying attention to your tricks. Do you got me, boy? Go ahead back to that little bastard.
It's down in Kentucky, where I began as a reporter back in April. Those same people that I saw there, some of them, the people who are worrying about the government taking up the guns, the people who deny that the federal government has a right to tax your income,
Pause.
the people who are...
The whole country started about taxation without representation. There's scores of little cell phone taxes and water taxes and federal and state fees they just add on without even legislatures passing bills. They've got more than 15 bills now introduced to ban all guns if the Attorney General wants, to ban anybody he wants from owning a gun without even being convicted or arrested, bills to shut down ammo, bills to register. And they just get up and say, there's no bills. There's no bills. I mean, that's why these guys have no credibility. And they keep lying and lying and lying. And it just gets worse from here. So there you go. The feds can tax whatever they want. It's anti-American to ever question it. Just continue.
Worried about being overrun at the borders.
Hit pause.
People who are worried about the...
Oh, yeah, we're not being overrun. There's just 30 million illegals. All the Western states are on the edge or have already gone bankrupt because the illegal aliens aren't even bad people, but they come here and get on welfare and they get free health care and they live 10 to a house, and so it's destroying our standard of living. And the media always makes it, well, then you don't like Hispanics then. Really, Gallup polls show 80+% of Hispanics want the border shut down. They know they're losing their jobs, Hispanic Americans. See, that's another groupthink. Everybody who wants to control the borders is a racist. How about we don't want 500 million Latin Americans coming up here and turning this into Guatemala City? How about that? How about we don't want to be Mexico City? How about we want to get liberty down there, but they use the U.S. as a steam valve for Mexico? They would have already had revolution down there. So see, there's these crazies who believe the borders are too open. There are these crazies that think there's a border problem. These are really radical nuts. I mean, my God. So they are tying the birther issue because that may be baloney, may not, whatever. So they can then try to discredit everything else and next they come back and go, there's these people that believe the Bilderberg Group wants world government. It's only in the newspaper 100+ times a week that we're setting one up. What's wrong with the crazy public? I mean, they're crazy, man. They think the borders are too open and that there's a world government and that the bankers are stealing money.